Okay, picking up where we left off, talking about prevention, making sure that our referees are qualified is going to be our first thing, making sure that we got paramedics on scene, especially during activities that kids are going to be prone to injury, football games, for example. Making sure that athletic trainers are there, whether it's a basketball, golf, football, whatever the case may be, to make sure that those kids are okay to play, make sure that they are healthy enough to play, make sure that they are being safe. And then additional safety training for coaches, making sure that they know how they should be conducting themselves, how the referees should be conducting themselves, and kind of what to do, specifically in this case, what to do when those rules are not being followed, how to contact the athletic director, and how to make sure that our kids and our players are going to be safe. In terms of professional ethics, student safety, as I've said, first and foremost, that is our top priority. The parents, they give their kids to us in the morning, and they expect to have them back at night. Safety is our first priority. Rules. In sports, rules are in place for a reason. They're in place to provide safety for the players, as well as to provide for that integrity of the game, to make sure that the game itself, that the sport itself is protected. And they should be enforced accurately as well as fairly. And that was not the case with this rugby referee. Now, our next one here, Evans versus Oaks Mission Public School. So this is going to be, again, in a PE class. We kind of have a theme going here with PE. It's going to be a wrestling unit. There's a kid. He's had a separated shoulder. He's had it happen twice already. He's gone to the doctor. The doctor says, you might want to sit out and let this thing really heal up. You might want to kind of avoid any of that physical activity that might lead to, again, having a re-injury there. The parents are supporting this. They're, making sure the school knows, making sure that he is not in a PE class, making sure that he is not playing football that season, to try to make sure that he is healing up. Now, the kid's going to go, and he starts off in a cooking class or whatever the case was, and then he's going to change his schedule, gets into the PE class, and they are going through a unit which is the wrestling unit, goes through, and boom, separated shoulder. Now, the parents are going to sue for negligence because they had spoken with the school to get him out of PE to make sure that he's not included in a PE class. However, when he goes and changes his schedule, the parents also knew that schedule change was going to occur. So that's going to be kind of our hitch in the system here. Now, the ruling here is going to be found for the school district against the parents and against the student. The court is going to say that the school is immune from liability based on the ruling of Curtis versus the Board of Education of Sayre Public Schools. Now, they're going to say, in that case, what happened was there was a softball game was going on in PE. Kid didn't have a mask on, playing catcher, ends up getting hit in the face, and then the courts actually ruled for the student in that case because they were not provided the proper safety equipment. In the Evans case, all safety procedures were followed. There was no negligence to be found. The teacher was there observing the class, supervising the class. All the training had been gone through. It was just a thing that happened, an unforeseeable consequence. Now, the parents claimed that because he had two separated shoulders, it was a foreseeable consequence. It was something that should have been watched out for. However, the court said, basically, if that's how you believe, why did you allow your student to change classes and to go into that? So they're going to rule for the school district, saying that safety and guidelines were adequately followed and that there was nothing more that the school needed to provide. Now, if this had happened at Harmon, there would have been conference with the administration, the teacher, as well as the counselors. And we would review the policies and procedures for schedule change, as well as the in-class safety schedule or safety procedures for making sure that all the kids are being safe, that they are being supervised, and all those I's are dotted and T's are crossed. Students with medical needs, they would be exempt, obviously, from any classes where they were not able to participate without repercussion upon them. So anything, like in this case with separated shoulder, if the kid would have came and said, hey, I got a separated shoulder, I can't do this, that would be okay, an alternative assignment maybe or something like that, but they definitely would not have been punished for that. And then to make sure that any policy changes, anything that's going against things that we already know, we're going to make sure that we have the parental consent to do those things. No disciplinary actions would be taken against the teacher or the school counselor for making the schedule change. In this case, it was done with the parents' consent, so it was just kind of a unfortunate accident that occurred. As far as prevention, students with special needs, they would have priority within reason. That doesn't mean that they get blanket every class that they possibly could want, but in the case of making sure that they are not just dumped into team sports, for example, if they have a history of shoulder injuries, for this case, then they're going to have those issues taken into account when their schedules are made. Possibly, for those higher level PE classes, we could require a physical. I don't think that would be outside the realm of possibilities. We already require them for participation in after-school activities. I don't see how this could be any different. Also, my school, we're actually getting kind of lucky. We're going to have a kind of in-house clinic that could hopefully or be able to provide those services for our kids. Schedule change, they're going to need parental approval. I've been at schools before where parents had to sign off on any schedule changes that were to occur, and that kind of releases the school from liability, whether it's, oh, my kid hasn't had enough math classes. Well, you signed off on all these. You signed off to take them out of a math class and put them into, French or whatever the case may be. So it kind of removes the school from liability with a lot of different things there. And again, getting PE teachers those walkie-talkies for those emergencies, again would be a great step here to prevent or actually to respond to anything that would occur. In terms of professional ethics, students need guidance. They're kids. Kids do reckless things at times, and they need us as a school staff to help to give them guidance, to hopefully make sure they're safe, make sure they're doing what they need to be doing, make sure they're taking care of business in the classroom, make sure they're not putting themselves into any risky situations. So, thank you for watching. I apologize for it being a little long. I tend to be a little long-winded, but here's my reference, and thank you if you've made it through both parts. Thank you for watching and participating here.